Have you ever noticed someone weaker than you, less talented than you, even less intelligent than you, still manages to win? Why? Not because they're better, but because they're more confident. They speak without hesitation. They walk as if the world owes them a place. And here's the strange part. People believe them. Meanwhile, you wait. You calculate. You overthink until the moment is gone. And while you hesitate, someone else takes what could have been yours. Here's the brutal truth. The world doesn't reward the smartest. It doesn't reward the most skilled. It rewards the most confident. This video is about that kind of confidence. Not shallow tricks. Not fake posturing. But a deeper transformation rooted in timeless Stoic principles. If hesitation has ever cost you opportunities, stay with me until the end. Because by the time you finish this, you'll know how to silence that inner hesitation and step into the kind of presence that commands respect without saying a word. And if you find value here, consider subscribing so you never miss the next lesson that could change the way you carry yourself forever. Part 1. Confidence is not a gift. It's discipline. We often imagine that confidence is something you're born with. The extrovert, the man with natural charisma, the lucky one with sharp looks and a silver tongue. But the Stoics saw it differently. Epictetus once said, "No man is born free, yet any man can learn to become free." The same is true for confidence. Confidence is not written in your DNA. It is not a blessing handed out to a chosen few. Confidence is a skill. Confidence is a discipline. It begins in the smallest choices. When you pull your shoulders back instead of letting them slump. When you slow down your words instead of rushing to justify yourself. When you choose silence instead of exploding with anger. Each of these moments seems small, but each one is a brick. And brick by brick, day after day, you build something greater than a mood. You build a fortress within. Most people treat confidence like a feeling. They say, "I don't feel confident today." But that's a trap. Confidence is not a passing wave of emotion. It is not a good day or a bad day. Confidence is a way of being. Confidence isn't a mood. Confidence is an identity. And identity is forged by repetition, by practice, by discipline. Every time you stand taller, you remind yourself who you are. Every time you speak slower, you show yourself that you are in control. Every time you hold your silence, you prove that your emotions do not own you. Little by little, the old self fades. The uncertain self, the restless self, the self that needs permission to exist. And in its place rises someone new. Not someone who waits for confidence to appear, but someone who has become confidence. This is the Stoic path. Not a gift, not luck, but discipline repeated until it transforms your very nature. Because confidence is not about what you feel in the moment. Confidence is about who you have trained yourself to be in every moment. Part 2. The enemy inside, the inner servant. There is a voice inside your head, always whispering, always doubting. What will they think if I speak up? What if I'm wrong? Maybe I should wait just a little longer. You know that voice. You've heard it 1,000 times. But here's the truth. That voice is not you. That voice is the inner servant. It is the part of you that was trained from childhood to seek approval, to ask permission, to obey. The world does not need to chain you anymore. You chain yourself every time you hesitate. Seneca once wrote, "There is nothing more shameful than to make ourselves slaves when we were born to be free." In the past, slavery was iron and shackles. Today, slavery is psychological. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, the fear of being disliked. This is how most people live, controlled, not by kings or emperors, but by the opinions of strangers. And the cruel part is this: The more you obey that inner servant, the weaker you become. Every time you silence yourself to avoid criticism, you strengthen the chains. Every time you beg for acceptance, you tighten the leash. The servant whispers, and you follow. The servant trembles, and you retreat. And soon, you no longer live for yourself. You live as a prisoner of other people's emotions. But here is the Stoic answer. The voice is not you. It is an echo. It is a habit. And habits can be broken. The moment you recognize it, the moment you refuse to obey, the chains begin to fall. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Freedom does not come from the world changing around you. Freedom comes when you kill the servant inside you. When you stop waiting for permission. When you choose to act as if your worth was never up for debate. The enemy is not out there. The enemy is in here. And once you destroy the servant, the ruler within you finally awakens. Part 3. The rule of inversion, breaking the reflex. Every man has reflexes, instincts that feel automatic. When fear appears, the body shrinks. When judgment threatens, the mouth rushes to explain. When tension rises, the heart begs to apologize. But here's the problem. These reflexes were not designed for strength. They were trained for survival, for comfort, for obedience. And if you live by these reflexes, you will never be free. The Stoics gave us a weapon, a rule, a way to break the servant's grip. It is called inversion. Every time you want to shrink, expand, lift your chest, raise your eyes, take up space. Every time you want to explain, stop. Hold the silence. Let the weight of your presence say what words cannot. Every time you want to apologize for simply existing, remain still. Breathe slowly. Stand firm. This is the rule of inversion, the act of doing the opposite of weakness. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But notice he never said, "Wait until you feel ready." Readiness is an illusion. Courage comes only through action. When you invert the reflex, something changes inside you. The servant panics, but the ruler grows stronger. The chain rattles, but the fortress becomes taller. At first, it feels unnatural. Your body resists. Your mind screams, "Don't do it." But with repetition, the inversion becomes instinct, and the old instinct of fear begins to die. This is how discipline works. Not through grand gestures, but through small defiant acts repeated daily. Choose the opposite of weakness, every time, until one day it is no longer a choice. It is who you are. Confidence is not a feeling that visits you when the stars align. Confidence is the identity forged each time you rebel against the servant within. The rule of inversion is simple, and yet it is the doorway. The doorway from hesitation into freedom. Part 4. The language of power, the silence that speaks. Most people believe power lies in words. They think dominance is about speaking more, speaking louder, filling every silence. But the Stoics knew the opposite. True power often hides in silence. Think about the loudest person in the room, the one who interrupts, the one who argues. He seems strong, but he is predictable. He is desperate to be heard, which makes him easy to control. Now picture the quiet man, the one who sits still, the one who listens without rushing to reply. No one knows what he is thinking. No one can read his next move. That man is the real threat. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. When you hold your tongue, you force the world to lean in. When you resist the urge to explain, you make your presence heavier. When you choose your words carefully, each one lands like a hammer. This is the language of power. It is not noise. It is gravity. So, how do you practice it? Speak less, mean more. Cut away the fillers. Maybe, kind of, I think, I'm not sure. Those are escape hatches for the weak. Burn them. When you do speak, let your words sound final. Not open for debate, not tentative, but like decisions. And when the sentence ends, let the silence remain. Do not rush to fill it. Let others feel the weight of what you just said. Most will not challenge it, because silence after strength is intimidating. Remember, power is not about volume. It's about certainty. The man who controls his tongue controls the room. The man who commands silence commands respect. This is why the Stoics often spoke less but lived more. Their silence was not emptiness, it was presence. And when you learn to speak this language, you no longer beg to be heard. You force the world to listen. Part 5. Speak like a ruler, words as decisions. When most people speak, they sound uncertain. They bury their thoughts under layers of hesitation. Maybe, I think, I'm not sure. Every word becomes an apology. Every sentence sounds like a question. This is not speech. This is surrender. The Stoics taught us that speech must be deliberate, measured, final. Seneca wrote, "The wise man speaks as if his words are carved in stone." So what does that mean for you? It means when you speak like a ruler. Not with arrogance, not with noise, but with the weight of certainty. Say what you mean. Cut out the fluff. Deliver your words as if they were decisions, not suggestions. I disagree. This is the path. We will do it this way. Simple, clear, undeniable. And here's the key when you finish speaking. Stop. Do not explain. Do not justify. Do not soften the edge of your words. Let the silence work for you, because silence after strength is more powerful than 1,000 weak explanations. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill it. But a ruler does not. A ruler lets silence confirm authority. Your words should sound like the end of the discussion, not the start of one. Not because you demand control, but because you embody control. This is how generals spoke. This is how leaders command respect. They did not flood the air with chatter. They spoke rarely. But when they did, every word carried the force of a decision. Practice this. Next time you speak, strip away the nervous laughter, the softeners, the apologies. Say what needs to be said. Then stop. The more you do this, the more people will lean in. Not because you begged for attention, but because you spoke like a ruler. And rulers are not ignored. Part 6. The final battlefield, mastering emotions. You can stand tall. You can walk with presence. You can speak like a ruler. But if one insult makes you explode, if one comment makes you spiral, if one silence makes you panic, then all your power is gone. Because the final battlefield is not your posture. It is not your words. It is your emotions. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most men never learn this. They let their moods belong to other people. An enemy whispers, and they rage. A stranger praises them, and they melt. Someone ignores them, and they beg for attention. That is not strength. That is slavery. The Stoic warrior is different. He feels everything, but he acts on nothing unless it serves his purpose. Insults, he studies them like data. Praise, he questions the motive. Rejection, he grows colder, stronger, freer. This is not numbness. This is control. Think of your mind as a fortress. Walls built from discipline, gates guarded by reason. Inside, your peace remains untouched. When someone attacks, they slam against the walls but never breach them. When someone flatters, their words echo but never sway you. When the world tests you, you remain calm, deliberate, unshaken. This is the highest form of confidence. Not the loud kind, not the fragile kind, but the dangerous kind because it cannot be moved. Mastering your emotions means no one holds the keys to your state of mind. No insult controls you. No praise seduces you. No silence unsettles you. You belong to no one, and that makes you untouchable. Remember this: power is not about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself so completely that nothing outside of you can disturb the fortress within. The final battlefield is invisible. It is fought in your heart, in your mind, every single day. Win there, and you win everywhere. Part 7. Turning rejection into power. Most people fear rejection. They treat it like a wound, like proof that they are not enough. But the Stoics saw it differently. Rejection is not a wound. Rejection is information. When someone says no, it does not mean you are worthless. It means they believe they can survive without you. And that truth is priceless. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish. In other words, rejection is not the enemy. Your fear of rejection is. Think about it. Every time you are ignored, you learn who values you and who doesn't. Every time you are doubted, you see clearly who cannot recognize strength. Every no cuts through the fog of confusion and gives you clarity. Rejection shows you who deserves your energy and who doesn't. The weak man collapses under rejection. He chases harder. He explains himself. He begs for approval. And by doing so, he hands away his power. The Stoic man responds differently. He withdraws his presence. He sharpens his edge. He becomes colder, stronger, more disciplined. Rejection is not personal. It is positional. It tells you where you stand. And once you know that, you can adjust, refine, and strike when the time is right. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Rejection is exactly that. Not an obstacle, but a compass. A signal pointing you to where growth is required. So stop fearing rejection. Welcome it. Use it. Let it strip away the unworthy. Let it carve out the path to your higher self. Because once rejection no longer hurts you, it becomes your weapon. And no one can control a man who turns every no into fuel for power. Part 8. Presence. Owning the room without a word. When most people enter a room, they search for permission. Their eyes dart around, begging for recognition. They laugh too quickly, nod too often, speak too fast. This is not presence. This is neediness. True presence requires no permission. It announces itself without noise. It shifts the atmosphere the moment you arrive. Think of a predator in the wild. It does not rush. It does not shout. It moves slowly, calmly, deliberately. And every creature nearby feels its gravity. That is presence. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus reminded his students, if you want to improve, be willing to appear indifferent to those who do not matter. Indifference to opinion builds presence, because the man who does not need approval becomes the man others cannot ignore. So how do you practice presence? First, slow down. Move as if you are in control of time itself. Predators never hurry. Only prey rushes. Second, hold your gaze. Don't fidget. Don't glance around nervously. Your eyes should speak, I see everything, but nothing disturbs me. Third, let your silence carry weight. Don't fight to be heard. Let others rush, explain, reveal their hunger. You remain calm, patient, unshaken. Presence is not arrogance. It is not forcing others to notice you. It is living in such a way that they cannot ignore you, even if they try. Marcus Aurelius walked into rooms as emperor, but his power did not come from his title. It came from his discipline. from his ability to stay calm when others lost control. Presence is not given, it is cultivated, and when you have it, you own the room without a word. Because true power is not about demanding attention, it is about creating gravity so strong that the world revolves around you. Part 9. Identity shift from beggar to standard. Most men live as beggars, not for food, not for money, but for validation. They beg with their words. They beg with their smiles. They beg with their silence, waiting for someone else to approve of their existence. This is the life of the servant. And as long as you beg, you will never be free. The Stoics called us to something higher. Seneca said, "It matters not what you bear, but how you bear it." In other words, dignity is not granted by others. It is forged from within. The shift begins when you stop asking, "Am I enough?" and you start declaring, "I am the standard." You are no longer measured by someone else's approval. You become the measure. Others look at you to decide where they stand. This is identity shift, not a trick, not a mask, but a transformation. It begins small. When you no longer apologize for speaking, when you no longer flinch at silence, when you walk into a room without checking if you are welcome, each time the servant inside you dies a little more, and the ruler within you rises. Marcus Aurelius never begged for respect. He lived in such a way that respect became unavoidable, not because he demanded it, but because he embodied it. That is the difference. The beggar adapts himself to everyone else. The ruler becomes the standard others must adapt to. Ask yourself, are you still begging to be chosen? Or have you become the one who decides? Identity is not what you say you are. It is what you prove through your discipline, through your silence, through your presence. And once the shift happens, you no longer wonder if you belong. You are the belonging. You no longer wait to be measured. You are the measure. From beggar to standard. That is the Stoic transformation. Part 10. The dangerous man. Untouchable confidence. The world fears one type of man. Not the loud man, not the violent man, but the man who cannot be moved. The man who does not bend under insult. The man who does not melt under praise. The man who does not flinch when ignored. This man is dangerous, because nothing controls him. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, war, and constant criticism. Yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is why he remained unshaken. That is why he could rule without being ruled by his emotions. Dangerous confidence is not about volume. It is not about aggression. It is about gravity, the invisible force that bends the room around you. You don't chase respect. You command it. You don't demand attention. You create it. You don't beg to belong. You set the standard. This is the end of the servant. This is the birth of the ruler. Confidence has become identity. Identity has become fortress. And fortress has become legend. Most men remain predictable. They explode when provoked. They soften when flattered. They beg when ignored. But the dangerous man does none of these. He stays cold, calm, calculated, unreachable. That is why others fear him, not because he shouts, but because they cannot touch him. This is the final transformation. When you stop being shaped by others, and you begin shaping the world around you. Confidence is no longer what you feel. It is who you are. Untouchable, unbreakable, dangerous. So ask yourself, will you live as the servant, or rise as the dangerous man the world cannot move? The choice is yours, and your legend begins the moment you decide. Conclusion. You don't need to announce your transformation. People will see it in the way you walk, in the silence you keep, in the gaze that never wavers. This is not just confidence. This is rebirth. You've silenced the servant. You've chosen freedom. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Today, you decide. No more begging. No more permission. You are the standard. You are dangerous. You are free." If this speaks to you, subscribe for more Stoic lessons and comment below, "I choose freedom."